Hello everyone. This video is mainly for pastors or for anyone who's looking for some help to set up a live stream from their home for their church sermons. Now, we've had a few requests and questions about our setup and how we have been able to achieve the video and audio quality for our live streams. So here is a step-by-step process as to how we had our setup, and hopefully it will be of help to you. If you find the information in this video helpful, please go ahead and like it and share this video with your other pastor friends who might be looking for some help to set up their live streams. Before we go into all the steps, I want to say that these live streams can be achieved on a very low budget, and there is no need to invest in expensive equipment unless you really want to. I'll be taking you through what we have used, but you can find cheaper alternatives. I'll also leave a link in the description below to all the things we've used for our live streams. One other thing that I want to mention is that this video goes through the steps on how to live stream your sermons using YouTube. YouTube offers live streaming completely free, so if you haven't got a YouTube account yet, please go and set one up before watching this video. I have left out one software that we've been using in our live streams, and that software is OBS. OBS allows you to add other things such as overlays, so you could have things like hymn texts or scripture verses, etc. added onto your live streams. But for the purposes of this video, I've tried to keep things as simple as possible, just so that you're able to get the message up and out there as quickly as possible. So with that said, let's get on to step 1. For step 1, we'll be looking at equipment, and the first piece of kit we will need is a webcam. This is the single most important piece of kit that you will need if you're looking to live stream your sermons with video. So the webcam we've used is the Logitech C920 HD Pro webcam. This is a full HD webcam and it performs quite well in my opinion. There are a couple of issues such as the autofocus and the white balance, which seem to have a mind of its own when the camera is switched on. However, there is a way to manage that in the software by manually turning autofocus and white balance off. Although this is the webcam that we ended up using, you don't have to use this particular webcam. There are many other available webcams that stream HD footage. Many laptops come with built-in webcams. However, if you don't have any webcams but have a smartphone, there are ways on how you can use your phone as a webcam. This will require you to use a broadcasting software called OBS and an app installed on your phone and computer called iVCam. The app is free to use, however, the free version does have a watermark and adverts that pop up from time to time. You can get rid of these by purchasing the app. The next most important thing to have is a good mic. You could have a really good picture quality and a great camera to capture your scene. However, if the audio quality is poor, people will soon be turned off as they won't be able to hear you. When we first started our live streams, we were using the built-in mic of our webcam. However, the audio quality was not the best in my opinion for the purposes of live streaming a sermon. The audio was soft and we would lose audio quality based on where we placed the webcam. So the mic that worked for us was a lavalier mic. A lavalier mic is a clip-on mic that can be attached to the preacher's shirt or jacket. This way, there is no reduction in audio quality and volume. If you have a preacher who likes to move around when he's preaching, then with the built-in webcam mic, the audio volume will tend to reduce based on how near or far away he is from the mic. The benefit of having a lavalier mic is that they stay constant as to where they are placed. They move along with the preacher, and so the audio quality remains the same. So this is the one we ended up purchasing. It's a Rode SmartLav Plus lavalier mic. Again, there are other lavalier mics out there, so if you don't fancy this one, you can choose some of the other lavalier mics available in the market. One of the downsides of this particular mic is that the cable length is quite short. If your computer is very noisy and you want to stay further away from the webcam so that the mic doesn't pick up the background noise of the PC, then this mic is not the best option. However, we found a way to manage that by ordering an extension cable. But before going there is another thing I want to mention, and that is the actual connector at the end of the mic's cable. The 3 rings that you see here, it tells us that this is a TRRS connector. After ordering this mic and plugging it into my PC, the computer would recognize that a microphone has been plugged in, but there was no audio input going through the mic. After doing some research, I found out that I needed to order a converter. So please bear that in mind if you're looking to purchase this mic or any other mics. Check that your PC actually supports a TRRS connector. If not, you will need to order a converter. This is the converter that we ordered. It is currently unavailable, but if you do a search for a TRS male to TRRS female 3.5mm audio cable converter, you will find one. I also want to mention that I'm not sponsored by any of these. I'm only showing you the products we ordered for our live stream. Lastly, we ordered a TRS female to TRS male 3.5mm extension cable. My PC is very noisy, so this then allowed us to have the PC further away from the preacher and reduce a little of the background noise picked up by the mic. So that was our mic setup. The next bit of equipment we'll be looking at is lighting. Now, lighting is very important to achieve a good quality picture. It's not as important as audio quality in the case of streaming sermons, but once you've nailed the audio quality of your live streams, the next thing that you want to look at is how to light your scene. If you light your scene very well, even with a really cheap webcam, your scene will still look good and it'll produce a high quality image. So I'm just going to show you 2 different live streams and hopefully you'll be able to tell the difference that proper lighting makes to a scene. So this live stream right here was one of our first live streams. We tried to stay as close to the window as possible so as to have lots of natural light coming in. And the only other light lighting the scene was a ceiling light. As you can tell, the scene is quite dark. There's not a lot of light. It was a dull, cloudy day and the webcam would not pick up a lot of light. We did have an option of turning the camera around so the preacher faced the window, which would give us more light, but that would then expose part of the house that would make the scene very cluttered and distracting. So now let's compare that with a stream that was done 2 days back, 3 weeks after the first one. As you can tell, I'm sure, this scene is lit a lot better. There's a lot more light. The preacher is well lit and the whole scene is a lot more pleasing to the eye. So let me show you how we achieve that now. So to achieve this look, we use something called a 3-point light setup. A 3-point light setup is achieved using 3 lights with different intensities. Please don't get confused as I take you through this part. This is a very simple concept and I will try to keep it as simple as possible. You don't need to go and buy any additional lights for this setup. You can simply use lights that you already have at home, such as lamps or work lights, and by placing them strategically around your subject, you can achieve a really nice look. So in this scene, we have the preacher or the subject right here. We have the pulpit in front of him, and then we have our webcam placed right here so as to capture the preacher and a little part of the pulpit. This is the webcam's field of view. Now our first light is placed close to the preacher and to one side, either the left or the right. This is the main light or the key light of the scene. So choose a lamp or a work light that is the brightest you have in the house. This light will create some harsh shadows on the preacher's face. So in order to soften out those shadows, we place another light which is of a lower intensity to the other side of the preacher and a little further back than the key light. The last light is placed behind the preacher, either facing the wall or in our case the curtains. This helps to separate the preacher from the background and creates depth in the image. Again, you can use a work light, a torch, or any other lights that you have available at home. If your lights are too soft or too bright, you can move them closer in or further away from the preacher. You can also use a white cloth to diffuse the light and soften it so it's not harsh. If you don't have enough lights, you can use a reflector to bounce off some of the light that comes from the key light onto the preacher. A reflector is simply a white or silver piece of opaque cloth or tin foil used to reflect light. Experiment with your scene and with the lights you have available at home. So what we'll do now is have a look at our setup to see where everything is in the scene. So we have our computer monitor right here with the CPU to the left. Right in front of the monitor we have the webcam and the lights. The lights we use in our streams are video lights that can be purchased from Amazon or any other lighting store. I will place a link in the description below to the ones we are using. But like I said earlier, you don't have to use these particular lights. You can use lights that you have at home, such as lamps or work lights. So to the left there is our fill light. The main light or the key light is to the right. And in the middle here is our Logitech webcam. The last light, that is the backlight, is a work light that we had in the shed, and that's used to light the curtains and create some depth in the scene. So for those of you who don't have any other lights available at home, you don't have work lights or lamps, then what you can do is use the natural light that we all have freely available, and that natural light is sunlight. So we'll look at how we can use that next. This is a good example for those who don't have any additional lights that they can use at home. This example uses sunlight, which is completely free and in abundance, especially during the summer months, and so you can take advantage of that. In order to use natural light, all you need is to find a really big window in your house, and you must face the window. In this image, the webcam would be placed right here in the middle of the laptop, and if you notice, the subject is quite well lit with the sunlight that's coming through the window. The only downsides to this setup is that if you're having services that are late in the evening when there is no sunlight, then you obviously can't use this setup. Also, if it's a very dull day, then depending on how good your webcam is, it might struggle to perform in low light conditions. The last downside is that you might not want to expose a particular part of your house, and it might be quite cluttered and distracting to the viewers. So we're done with step 1, we've found all the equipment that we need, and now we're moving on to step 2. For step 2, we need something known as a streaming platform, and in our case that streaming platform is YouTube. If you haven't already done so, please go and create a YouTube account. It is completely free and very simple to do. Once you have set up your YouTube account, you will need to verify it. This can be done very simply by clicking on the camera icon with the plus sign at the top and then click Go Live. As you haven't verified your account, YouTube will not let you go live yet. So it'll take you to your account verification page. You can verify your account using text or an automated voice message. I would advise you to use the automated voice message as this one worked a lot quicker for us. After we set up our YouTube account, it took 24 hours for us to be eligible to live stream. So please do this step as early as possible. You will then be eligible to live stream from your YouTube channel. Once you have all of that set up, you will need to go to this little icon which says Create Video or Post. Click on it and it will give you two options, one to upload a video and the other to go live. We want to click the Go Live button. This will then take you to another page where we will have some more options on how to stream our scene. Over here we want to make sure that we have webcam selected on the left hand side. With this we are basically telling YouTube to stream the content straight from our webcam, so make sure your webcam is plugged in to your computer. In the middle here we have the webcam stream info window, and here we can have some more control over our stream and tell YouTube what it is that we want to name our live stream and so on. The first stream should always be a test stream, so I would advise you to watch this video and practice streaming a few times until you have everything fine-tuned and ready for the audience to see. So we'll name this stream as Test. Next, we will select who can view the stream. As this is a test, we don't want anyone else to see this besides us, so we must either select private or unlisted if we only want a certain amount of people with the link to see this live stream. For this test, we will select private, but when you are all ready and set up to stream for the Lord's Day, you must select public. The next option is to schedule the stream. If we wanted to pass on a link to the live stream much before the Lord's Day, then we can choose to schedule a stream. This will then allow us to copy the link and send that link to the people we want to view the stream. We can select the date and time and continue to fill out the settings on this window till we are given the link to share. We won't be doing that for this stream as we are just testing it now. For the next question, we have been selecting no to this question as the content is not solely made for kids. We then want to click on more options, add a description such as Sunday morning worship, or in our case testing webcam. We then want to select one of these from the drop-down menu. Ours being a church, we have selected non-profit and activism. Next, we need to select our webcam from this drop-down menu, and our Rode mic, which is the microphone Realtek high definition audio. Hit next. It will now take a thumbnail for the stream. If you have prepared a thumbnail for your live stream, which I would advise you to, you can set it now by clicking on Upload Custom Thumbnail. Once you've uploaded your thumbnail, we're all done and ready to go live. Click the Go Live button. And here we are. From here, we can now test if our camera is in the right position, if the scene looks bright enough on YouTube, and if we are overall happy with the stream. Once we are done, we click End Stream to stop streaming. So that's the video, everyone. I hope that it was of some help to you all. If you did find it useful, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and share it with as many pastor friends that you have so it can help them live stream their sermons. If you have any questions or if you think that I've missed out something, which I most probably have, leave a comment down below and I'll try to respond to them as soon as I can. So that's all from me, guys. God bless you all.